begins by showing Peter Parker trying to fix New York City after it was nearly destroyed. Meanwhile, he is on the phone with his girlfriend Gwen Stacy. She argues with Peter, saying that New York is always in trouble and that if it depended on him, he would have to spend 24 hours a day saving everything and everyone. Gwen insists that he needs to leave the city in the hands of other heroes once in a while so they can have time together. She warns him that she will be very angry if he doesn't show up for the date they set, because it was her birthday and Gwen was preparing for this special day. As Peter swings through the streets of New York, he notices something strange. The city, which was once always bustling with the sounds of cars, construction, and all the life of a metropolis, is now strangely silent, all after an event known as the Unraveling. This silence reminds Peter of a day when his Uncle Ben took him to the beach during Thanksgiving. On that cold day, the beach was deserted and only the soft sound of the sea could be heard. His uncle had said that silence holds memories. However, Peter reflects that he doesn't have time for memories right now. He tells us that something happened recently, something that changed the city, but he doesn't know how or why. Reed Richards believes that the unraveling may be related to the molecular man, but Peter doesn't put much stock in that theory. What really matters is that, suddenly, bridges, buildings, and even people started to crumble. As he explores the devastated scene, Peter sees something strange on the ground and approaches. Several people are around, but they don't seem normal. They are all covered in webs, with vacant eyes, wandering aimlessly like zombies. The scene is frightening. Peter holds the head of a fallen man on the ground, who is missing his jaw and one arm. It's as if Peter knows him. He calls to the guy and asks if Octavius is holding him hostage again. Peter then looks to the side and spots the guy's jaw on the ground. Using his web, he picks up the body part and hands it over, telling the man to stay calm, because he's going to look for the arm now. The sad part is that the man is crying the whole time, unable to say anything. As he walks away, Peter says he feels sorry for that guy because he still understands what is happening. We then see the villain Dr. Octopus on a bridge, shouting for Spider-Man to show up and face him. He swings the arm of the man like a taunt. The friendly neighborhood Spider-Man arrives with a bang, attacking Octopus with his webs, joking that he would love to give this battle more value, but he's running late. After being attacked, Octopus gets so angry that he overexerts himself and ends up bursting his mechanical tentacles that were implanted in his back. This happens because everything in that city is disintegrating, and any significant force ends up destroying itself. Octopus is completely devastated by losing his tentacles and begs Peter not to laugh at him. Peter promises he won't laugh and even helps reattach the metal appendages. Just when he thought he had finished his work in the city, a huge explosion occurs at the Baxter Building, where Reed Richards works. Seeing this, Peter knows that more complications are on the way. He bids farewell to Octopus, takes the man's arm, and puts it in his backpack before heading toward the explosion. Upon entering the Baxter Building, Peter Parker begins to search for Reed Richards. However, what he finds is something terrifying. He sees his friend completely disfigured, as if his body had exploded, with his organs scattered around the area. Peter is desperate, but the body remnants respond. That is Reed. He says he's fine, despite his appearance. Reed explains that he has taken this form on purpose because he discovered that abandoning human morphology unlocked significant cognitive capacity for his work. In other words, by giving up his human appearance, his brain functioned better. Peter then asks what is happening and mentions that he's in a hurry to go to dinner with Gwen. Reed strains and uses his powers to restructure his body back to human anatomy, insisting that Peter shouldn't go out to dinner with his girlfriend because there is a city that needs him. This irritates Peter, who advances toward Reed and grabs him by the shirt. Peter says he's been sleeping a maximum of 3 hours a day, stitching the city together with his webs, and the problem is that the webs dissolve. So he has to go out and stitch everything back together, day after day. That's why he's mad at Reed, who tries to give him a lecture about responsibility. Once things calm down, Reed takes Peter to see something. He shows Peter that he has created a self-renewing organic polymer capable of replacing Spider-Man's webs. This polymer doesn't dissolve like the hero's current webs. Peter finds this new invention really interesting and asks what it's made from. That's when Reed reveals that he created it from his own finger. He shows his hand, revealing that he amputated his ring finger to carry out this project. Reed explains to Peter that they were lucky to remain intact since the event known as the Unraveling. Spider-Man's accelerated healing saved him, and Reed was saved by his elastic molecular structure. He asked Peter to look for other people who also survived and have similar substances in their bodies, as this way Reed could produce more webs for Spider-Man. The story cuts to the moment when Spider-Man is in the city's sewers searching for Venom. While he's there, Gwen calls him, saying he needs to arrive in half an hour. Peter apologizes and tells her she'll have to wait a little longer. He then wishes her a happy birthday again and hangs up. Suddenly, Peter is attacked by Venom. While he's getting hit, he thinks about how slow he was to not notice the arrival of his enemy. However, he manages to push him back by using his webs to bring down part of the ceiling on him. Taking advantage of the opening, this time it was Peter who attacked first, landing several blows on Venom. At one point, the symbiote asked Peter for help. Reluctantly, he shouted for Eddie to come back and fight on his own. It was then that the symbiote split open, revealing that Eddie was dead. Surprised, Peter asked why the symbiote hadn't left Eddie's body somewhere. The symbiote replied that Eddie was very important to him, that it wasn't just a symbiotic relationship, but that Eddie was his true home. Spider-Man then suggested that Venom bond with him, stating that he hadn't been ready for it before, but now he believed it was the right time for their union. The symbiote stretched, almost touching Peter's body, but decided it was better not to do that. It dissolved, leaving Eddie's body on the ground, and left. Peter remembered his commitment to Gwen and ran off, trying to make it in time for their date. As he went home, Peter Parker felt a strong sense of déjà vu. Passing through the city, it was as if he had done this countless times before. Accidentally, he dropped his phone and the screen shattered. His wallpaper was a photo of Gwen Stacy, and the image became all cracked due to the broken screen. But then, we are caught off guard. Upon arriving home, we discover that Gwen Stacy is dead. She also didn't survive the unraveling. The strangest part is that Peter can't bear the pain of the loss, so he keeps Gwen's body sitting in the dining chair, even though it is in an advanced state of decomposition. Depressed, Peter apologizes to the corpse for being late and blows out the candle that was still lit. The day passes, and we see Spider-Man returning to the Baxter building to help Mr. Fantastic with his projects. Reed apologizes for what he said the day before about priorities and admits that he truly regrets it. He confesses to being devastated by everything. After all, he also lost people he loved. However, while talking, Reed doesn't notice Peter's strange approach, holding a syringe in his hand. The story cuts, and several days have passed since that event. Mr. Fantastic's project for the new web for Spider-Man really worked. Although the web didn't heal the city, it managed to keep it intact, preventing more things from crumbling. The buildings, the people, and even the villains were patched up with the new web created by Peter Parker, which helped keep everything in place. Now, Peter didn't have to spend every day mending the city. As he walks through the patched-up city, Peter remembers when Aunt May had a cleaning frenzy after Uncle Ben was murdered many years ago. One day, she told him that she did it because she needed to keep herself busy to avoid going crazy, which is why she cleaned the house every day. And on the last page, we discover that Peter Parker truly lost his mind after everyone died. He fell into paranoia, repairing everything with his web every day as a way to occupy his mind, just like Aunt May did. It turns out that to patch up the entire city with the new web, Peter simply killed Reed Richards and used his entire elastic body to create enough web for his purpose. Peter Parker is now the only survivor of the unraveling because he murdered Mr. Fantastic. And that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. Don't forget to leave a like down below, as it really helps. Also, feel free to comment on what other stories you want to see on the channel. Don't forget to share this with that friend who you know will also enjoy this story. And let's go together to the top of all of YouTube. I'm counting on you.